Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro, friends. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Coffee Fest. Coffee Fest is happening in Los Angeles next week, August the 25th to 27th. And you can get a 50% discount code in the comment section, show notes, whatever it is that, or wherever it is that you're watching this podcast. And go to coffeefest.com. I'm sorry, it's so late here and I've been working since really early this morning on a day 2 of a 3-day consult here in Tijuana. So anyway, going back to the sponsor message, head to coffeefest.com and enter the code that is in the comment section below and you will receive 50% off your ticket. If you're going to be at Coffee Fest in Los Angeles, make sure that you say hi if we happen to cross paths. Now, today on the podcast, today on the Daily Coffee Pro, I want to talk about a very, very powerful question that we talked about a lot today in the consult that we did, in the workshop that we was doing with Baristas Bravos. So the way that this consult has worked is it's a 3-day intensive consult. Day 1 is roasting. Day 2 is focused on brewing and baristas. And day 3 is all about culture and anything else that we may want to explore with regards to the cafe in particular, or the offering of the tasting room that this is going to be. Today, I think I was more proud, or the most proud I've ever been in an education or training setting in my whole career. We had this group of baristas and roasters who turned up at the beginning of yesterday and we all decided equally together that we were going to park everything and come with an open mind to these 3 days tailor-made intensive training course. And I have to tell you, my mind has been blown by the transformation that these coffee professionals have made. And it's all steeped in empowering them with the ability to explore what comes when you ask the question why. And the reason that I took this approach, and usually take this approach with empowerment, when trying to get people to lead their own learning, is because the question why is such an inspirational thing. It leads you to solutions that you may not know that you needed. So in empowering these coffee professionals with all of this knowledge, we talked about today specifically, we talked about brewing espresso, brewing V60s, brewing Calitas, we're brewing that's pretty much the brewing that we did today. We followed that up with all the data collection that you need, refracting, but more importantly than anything was we were able to get a full 360-degree understanding of the relationship between doing or brewing, the numbers, and the tasting, and everything has been led by taste. Once you've got that understanding and can explore this idea of taste and understand, well, what does it mean if something's astringent? And what does it mean if something's sour? And what does it mean when something's hollow? And is something that I'm tasting in this brew as a result of the extraction, or is it as a result of the roast, or is it as a result of the green? Now, once you've got all that stuff as a foundational basis for understanding what's going on in your coffee, challenging everything that comes after that that's brought into your path becomes super interesting. And here's where it becomes really empowering. So if you then go and drink somebody else's coffee or watch somebody do a certain technique, if it's different than what you know, if it's different than what you do, asking the question why helps you understand if this is something that you should be bringing into your frame of vision or whether it's just left by the wayside. But you got to approach it with an open mind. So the idea is, let's say, so we had an example today of somebody saying that they see people put milk pitchers empty in the fridge. And that I was asked, should we do that, Lee? I don't need to find the answer for them. This was so proud. I'm so proud of these people. What happened was I asked them, okay, so what I want you to do is go and explore the answer of why you should or shouldn't keep a milk pitcher empty in the fridge. They came up with the answers for and against and then answered themselves as to why they would and wouldn't work for and against. And you watch this thought experiment happen between this group of awesome humans, problem solve this on their own, all led by the direction of why. Another example. If somebody comes up to you and says, I don't like this coffee that you brewed me. Answering somebody, well, fuck you, I don't care whether you like my coffee or not. That's one thing that you could do. But stepping into open-mindedness and stepping into your curiosity and saying to someone, well, that's really interesting. I appreciate the feedback. Can I ask you why you don't like this coffee that I've served you? If they turn around and they say to you, well, I just don't like how it tastes. Okay. An important piece of information that they've given you there is that they're probably not somebody that knows very much about coffee. They know enough to know that they don't like it, and you can follow the route of questioning that comes after that of something like, well, how do you usually drink your coffee, ma'am, or sir, or whoever? Do you usually drink it with lots of milk, with lots of sugar, etc., etc.? So you want to go and explore the customer, not very seasoned coffee drinking professional kind of customer. But if on the other hand, when you say, well, can I ask you why you don't like that coffee? And they say to you, well, I just didn't, it was baked. Let's say, for example, someone turns around and says, well, this is a baked coffee. They're giving you a signal there that they're a coffee person. They've used some language that makes them want you to know that they know some coffee terminology. Oh, that's really interesting. You follow it up with another question of how did you taste that in the coffee? What you're trying to assess here is this person who is just virtue signaling you? They just want you to know that they're a coffee person, and they're either trying to intimidate you or trying to become friends with you by telling you something shitty so that you might get intimidated by them, because we all know that that's what coffee people do. Or they're actually a coffee professional that can tell you how they tasted this coffee was baked. And what they say to you is, well, actually, it was kind of dull. There was no brightness in this coffee when I tasted it. All of the sudden, you're going, bingo. I know from the knowledge base that I have, I know what a baked coffee tastes like. I know that that's dull and it has no shine on it. I know that it's not bright. It's kind of flat. This person actually knows what they're talking about and is someone who is of great value to me as a customer. They're giving me honest feedback that is based in knowledge. asking the question why and knowing how to probe people and knowing how to come at it with an open mind and an open heart without wanting people to feel like shit can help you decide who the people that come into your path in your career or your business that you should listen to and invite for feedback, and the people that you should move along. So if someone's showing up and this coffee's baked and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, there's a really respectful way to move that person along. Okay, so you know what this person's doing. You know that this person just wants to let you know that they're a coffee person. You don't need to make them feel like shit. You're coming from a place of empowerment because you have the knowledge and because you knew how to probe that further. This is really empowering. This is what coffee professionals know how to do. And that person is going to be more grateful because you didn't demean them. You didn't turn around and say, bro, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. There's no need to do that. There's no need to be so ungracious. Just thank them for their feedback and tell them, you know what, I really appreciate your feedback. We're going to continue to try to do better next time. And move them along. They don't need to be taxing your drama. But the person who understands what the baked coffee is, and they can tell you what that tastes like, and they understand that, offer to make them another coffee. Offer to, you know what, I'm going to rebrew that and take a look at the roast curve and, you know, cup it with everybody. We're going to cup that batch again so that we can have that conversation amongst our team. How about I brew you a coffee that I know is absolutely not baked, and that's on the house. You've just made a great relationship with someone who speaks the same language as you, all because of the question why, because you knew how to probe. I hope that this has been helpful for you. I just want to say to everyone out there who has the courage to put aside what they think they know, to step into new learning that is empowering and will make you grow as a coffee professional, I salute you, because it takes fucking courage. And this is the kind of thing that will transform our industry. Keep going. You got this. You can be better today than you were yesterday. And tomorrow you will be better than today when you have that kind of attitude. And when you're doing that, you're constantly growing. Peace, love, and peanut butter, friends. Have an amazing rest of your day.